Extremes breed extremes. This kind of environment spawns the best of the worst in a man. It's always reminded me of the Brownsville section of New York, the birthplace of some fine writers, doctors, attorneys, and of Murder Incorporated.
Hi, Frank.
Hello, Nino.
School tonight, huh?
Every night, Jim.
Up all day, school all night. Gotta give you credit, Frank.
Save it for when I pass the bar exam. See you, fellas.
So long, Frank. Hey, Frank, wait a minute. Hey, Gumba, I need a favor.
Nino, when are you going to get a job?
I got a good lead tomorrow, but the suits and the cleaners, you know?
How much?
A couple of bucks should do it. I get the job, I pay back everything I owe you.
All right. Hot or cold, I need this back next week, you hear?
Oh, sure, sure. You're a real friend, Frank.
Yeah. Good night.
It's not on it. Get it.
Oh, don't shoot. Look. Let's get out of here. We're in trouble.
They say that walking's the best exercise for the body. I find it also stimulates the mind. But this particular morning, as on many over the years, I was not out just for a walk. I had a specific destination. I'd been summoned, a call I couldn't refuse. Dean? Dean Waldron?
If you're coming in here, do so quietly. Don't stand out there bellowing. I don't want to lose the only decent help I've ever had. It's because you clatter in here at impossible hours.
Sally's showing us he wouldn't leave you for a night in a white Charger. Anyway, she'll be asleep for another hour.
I suppose you gentlemen will be wanting something hot to drink?
Sleeping indeed, huh?
Oh, tell me how a body could sleep when you let anyone who passes by know that the door's open. Mr. Morris, you must be another one of them who never closes an eye. You'll be wanting cream and sugar, if I remember.
Yes, thanks, Sally.
The female tongue is the perfect courtroom weapon. Here, read the morning paper.
You didn't have Sally give me that urgent message just to get me down here to read the morning paper.
Oh, of course I didn't, but, I haven't seen you for, well, it's been...
It's been all of 6 days.
I'm a lonely man, Herbert.
You are an old tyrant. You said the message was urgent.
Oh, read the paper.
Wait a minute. Crotty, isn't that the young cop that works out of Weston's office?
Oh, he does? Hey, let me see that. Well, so he does.
What time did Weston call you?
Oh, couldn't have been any more of that. Now, look here, Herbert.
Aren't you ashamed, stooping to that kind of trickery? You could have got the same result by coming right out with your little plot. Why me? Why get me involved?
Frank Crotty's on the police force because of me. I sponsored him. If I go to bat for him, it'll only make things worse for him and for me, too.
Anyone can make a mistake, even you.
Just a moment, Herb. There's more. Crotty was once a young hooligan around town. All the officers knew him. He ran around with a gang called the Silver Knights. Everybody had a mark lousy, but I thought there was something worth saving.
Yes, go on.
He wants to be a lawyer, more than anything else in the world. He saves every penny he can get for his education. He won't even go bowling with the guys. He sacrificed everything, even marriage, to be a lawyer.
That gets me. Right here.
Oh, Herb, don't kid. A man doesn't steal for an education.
Supposing he does have this great desire. You admit he needs money.
Yes, but he didn't do this, I'm sure of it.
How'd you connect him with it?
Crotty turned himself in. When he got up in the morning, there were 4 bullets missing from his gun. His gun had been fired. When he reported to me, he didn't know anything about the killing. I took his gun down to ballistics, and the bullets matched.
If he was guilty, it could be a smart move to turn himself in this way.
Could be, but he didn't do it.
Oh, Weston, I've got so much work on my desk, it'll take me a month to get out from under.
You're my friend, Herb. I need your help. Don't you see? A cop has been killed. 3 this month. Every officer in the police force is involved in this. I can work through you, but I can't go on record.
Can we see Crotty now? It might have helped Crotty's case if the police investigation had turned up evidence of accomplices. However, nothing pointed to more than a one-man operation.
Oh, Lieutenant Weston.
Oh, hello, Diane. Miss Diane Powell, Mr. Herbert Maris.
Miss Powell?
Diane is Frank Crotty's girl.
I want to help him.
That's what Mr. Maris is here for. He's a lawyer.
We'll do everything we can to help him if he's innocent.
He is innocent.
Go home, Diane. We'll let you know as soon as we can.
But Frank didn't do it. I know him better than anybody. Well, he didn't.
Please, Diane. Coming, Counselor? We'll use the lawyer's room.
I want to talk to him alone.
That's all right by me.
Thanks, officer. My name's Maris, Herbert Maris.
Oh, yes, a friend of Lieutenant Weston's.
That's right. He told me quite a tale. What have you got to say?
What else can I say? It's all in the report.
Well, I'd like to hear it in your own words. Sit down, will you?
Thank you. I came off duty and I went to class. Got home about midnight. Usually I take the bus, but that night I walked.
Why?
I was broke.
Go on.
Well, the next morning when I got dressed, I noticed my gun had been fired. I reported it to Lieutenant Weston, and here I am.
A police officer is supposed to carry his gun at all times, even off duty.
Yes, I know. I broke the rule. Look, I felt silly sitting in a classroom wearing my gun. I'll have to face department charges on that.
You'll have to face charges on more than that, Crotty. I understand you want to be a lawyer.
Yeah, a lawyer. Mister, I was a regular Abe Lincoln. I wanted the law so bad. So look where I am now.
And I also understand you need money.
More than you could ever know, Mr. Maris. But I didn't rob for it, and I didn't kill for it.
Night watchman's here.
Lieutenant, you know how tough it is to make an identification from one of these lineups.
That's the best we can do for now, Crotty. Magruder, have the detectives come in for the lineup. How about you, Maris? You want to stand up with me?
Sure.
Good. Would you gentlemen mind taking your coats off, please? Coats off, please, gentlemen. Magruder. Bring the night watchman in here. Mr. Carey, we've brought you here for purposes of identification. If one of these men is one who assaulted you the night before last, then point him out to me.
Yes, sir. But I got to get used to these lights. You know, you give you an awful bump.
Yes, I understand. Hands out of pockets and stand up straight, please.
He's the same size, same coloring. I think he's the one.
You think? Aren't you sure?
Just as sure as I'll ever be.
Thanks, you can go now. Lights, Magruder. Take Crowley back to his cell. Thank you, gentlemen. You know, this isn't conclusive, you know. He said he wasn't sure. You know how these identifications. What's the use? I'm sorry.
What for?
I was positive he was innocent.
I don't apologize. He is.
Forget it, Herb. I'd like to believe he was innocent, too, but I can't. Not after this.
So you're going to quit on him now?
No, I just made a mistake, that's all. I was wrong. I've given it all the time I'm going to.
You've given it less than 36 hours.
That's plenty. Everybody around here's thinking I told you so. Waiting for me to bail the kid out of this mess. Well, I'm not going to do it. Crotty gets the same treatment as anybody else.
You're a tough cop, Weston. Too tough sometimes, but you're fair. And because you're fair, you're being toughest on yourself. But don't take it out on Crotty and this girl of his.
All right, Herb, what else can I do?
Do some gumshoeing. Ask questions. That's what a cop's supposed to do. Walk around and ask questions, isn't it? Send some men into Crotty's neighborhood. Now, look. Crotty's gun could have been stolen, just as he says. Lots of people down there knew all about his habits.
I've got men gumshoeing down there right now, Herb. Don't worry. I'll do what I can.
So will I.
Hello, Lieutenant Weston. Yes, sir. I'll be right up. That was the captain. Hurricane heading my way.
Despite his problems, Weston was true to his word. A lot of good man-hours were spent combing the neighborhood where Frank Crotty lived. We didn't come up with anything specific, not right away. One thing in Crotty's favor, his neighbors liked him. Hard worker, clean, nice guy, good cop. It seemed unanimous, but it wasn't.
Same guy, Arnie. The same guy that's been around with the cops all day.
Listen, Nino, so what? So forget it. I don't want to think about it.
Maybe he knows something.
What could he know?
Something.
The place is jumping with cops. We almost got grabbed 3-4 times. Cops don't like it when another cop gets shot.
Oh, I wish it didn't happen, Nino. Like it was all over. That's what I wish.
All right, keep wishing. Arnie, look. Talking to Crotty's girl.
Yeah. She don't like us at all. What'll he tell her?
It won't be good. We better go talk to him.
Are you buggy or something?
No, smart. Like if we know what he knows, we can figure a move. We can't keep hiding. Anyway, we got a right. We're friends of Crotty's, ain't we? Come on. Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Hello, Nino.
Frank okay?
No, he isn't. Not at all.
Friends of Frank?
He thinks so.
But you don't.
Frank will have to like my friends, so I try to like his. It's the way our marriage will work.
Well, I think a sentiment like that entitles you to a bite of food on the house.
Thanks. I haven't had a thing to eat since this whole thing started.
Dinner, madame?
Get Jimmy.
For what? What are we gonna do? Nino, I don't...
Shut up. We gotta fix it so this jerk don't come back here.
Then he'll know it's us.
He won't even see us. Now listen, we gotta do something to stop this guy. The cops will quit in a couple of days. They always do if they got a good patsy. But this guy's no cop. Now do what I tell you.
Two more years of law school, a new wife to support, and all on a policeman's pay.
I'm sure we can manage.
Was Frank sure? That could make a lot of men desperate.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Maris.
Didn't he have a moment of panic? Didn't he suddenly wonder how you'd both do it?
No, not once.
Oh, come on.
You're trying to make me say something to hurt Frank.
Diane, he could have fallen just this once. A lot of policemen have.
You can drop dead, Mr. Maris.
Diane, just a minute. You know, I envy Frank. You're going to make him a very good wife. Come on. Let me walk you home.
Thanks. Thanks for walking me home. And thanks, too, for wanting to help Frank.
The things you told me tonight wouldn't be much help in court. But they were a lot of help to me. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Mister. Go back where you belong. You hear? The wrong turf. Don't come back!
Lieutenant Weston was home in bed. I had the sergeant rout him out and then let me in to see Frank Crowdy while I waited. Then anybody might have gotten your room while you were out.
I always lock the door.
Well, those locks are so antique, any skeleton key might open them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Everybody around there seems to know your schedule. Do they know your habits? Your timetable?
I was in and out about the same time every day.
You all right? Yeah, I was just feeling dizzy for a minute. One of them kicked me last night. Who wears combat boots around there?
Everybody did a few years ago. It's part of the uniform. I wore them myself before I grew up and joined the force. He really ran that turf.
Turf?
The neighborhood. That was our territory.
What about now? Who wears them?
Lots of the guys.
Who?
Well, Nino and Arnie Basilici wear them. They know I go to school. They could even know I wasn't carrying my gun. But they wouldn't do it. They're friends of mine.
We've got to come up with more than a pair of boots on the neighborhood punk. Crotty's gun, the motive, the identification, the timing. These are facts.
Facts are like numbers. They can be rigged, and you're smart enough to know it. These boots are the one thing...
Don't give me with the boots, Herb. There's a million of them out in the pavements right now. Half the punks in his neighborhood wear them.
Crotty was a trained cop. If he's going to turn bad, he's not going to be clumsy about it. Why would he use his own gun and then turn it over to you?
Like you said. Because he thought it was the smart thing to do.
What about the Basilici brothers? They knew his habits, where he lived, when he was there. Crotty told me that they probably knew he didn't have his gun with him when he went to school.
That alone could get him thrown right off the force.
All right. Where was I?
Basilici brothers.
Yeah. All right. Look, I know that somebody didn't want this investigation in that neighborhood. Now, the only people I saw with combat boots were the Basilici brothers.
Anything else?
I thought Crotty was a friend of yours.
We need facts, not guesswork. Why don't you go home and get yourself some sleep? I've got a city to mind. Magruder! Get me the address on Nino and Anno Basilici. Have my car brought around the front.
Hello, Diane. This is Herb Barris. Give me Nino Basilici's address, will you? No, I just want to talk to him. Maybe I can learn something. Thanks.
What's the matter? You can't knock?
Yeah, what gives?
You walked in. You want something, mister?
I understand you're friends of Frank Crotty's. I wanted to see if you could help him.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing we can do to help Frank. He's a nice guy, but there's nothing we can do.
You see, somebody wants to stop me from making this investigation.
What are you looking at?
I got beat up last night by 3 hoodlums.
With boots like these? And you think we did it? There's lots of boots like these.
You said 3 guys. There's only 2 of us.
Frank's our friend, mister.
And you knew all about him. Where he went and when.
Nino.
Don't say nothing, Arnie. What are you, dumb, mister? You talk like a man with a paper head.
You did it, didn't you, Nino?
You gotta be kidding. You walk in here all alone, you tell us we killed somebody. You gotta be kidding. In our own house, he tells us.
What's taking you guys so...
You got all the answers now, mister. What are you gonna do with him?
Don't mess him up here, Nino.
No. I know a nice, quiet place. Let's take him there.
You better get up that fire escape. Oh, police! Herb, you all right?
Arnie, you hurt?
Get them out of here. Call an ambulance, Johnny.
Arnie!
You must have been kidding coming here by yourself.
That's just what Nino said. But I guess I figured you wouldn't be far behind.
Thank you. Nan Havens, 224 Glenview Road. That's your right name and address?
Well, of course it is. What's the matter with you? You're treating me as though I were a criminal. Look, what have I done? What is it? Why didn't you tell me? I was just down to Gainesville to visit my grandmother. I obeyed all the traffic laws. Why are you doing this to me?
Miss Havens, if that's your name, you can calm down now. Carrying microfilm of government property is illegal. You're under arrest, suspicion of espionage. Byrne, you can take her in now.
In this era of highly secret and potentially destructive devices designed to wipe out huge blocks of humanity at a single stroke, the espionage agent plays an important part. But along with the general pattern of world progress, the agent has undergone a major streamlining. The most innocent and ordinary-looking people are selected for this activity, and it's no longer possible to point the finger of suspicion at any man because he looks like a spy. But in the case of Nan Havens, she was not only innocent-looking, but I thought I detected a ring of truth in her voice, and I decided to have a chat with Lieutenant Weston.
It's not just her appearance, John. It's her whole attitude. I just can't believe a girl like that would get herself involved in espionage.
You know, Herb, you and I have worked on a lot of cases together, and I have the deepest respect for your opinions. But I don't think you know very much about women. Nan Havens is young and attractive. And she put on a pretty good act when she was caught with the goods. But now we have a blow-up of that microfilm, and I'd like to show you exactly what little Miss Innocence was carrying in her car.
Well, I'd like to see it.
See what I mean, huh? Can you imagine all this came that little roll of microfilm? Weston. Oh, good. Send her in. Nan Havens' grandmother. Mrs. Havens, won't you come in?
Lieutenant Weston?
Yes, this is Mr. Maris.
Yes.
Mrs. Havens, won't you sit down here, Mrs. Havens?
Lieutenant, I've come to talk to you about Nan, when you know the truth about her, I'm sure you won't want to accuse her of doing anything wrong.
Mrs. Havens,
She's very young, Lieutenant. And something like this can, well, just make a terrible impression.
I understand how you must feel, but...
You see, I've known her so long. I brought her up. And when you laugh and cry during the development of a child, there isn't much about that child that you don't know.
No, I suppose not.
Well, I knew that if I just came and explained about Nan, that everything would be all right.
May I explain some things to you, Mrs. Havens?
Oh, yes, do.
Last week, a man was arrested on a charge of being an espionage agent. He was caught carrying classified microfilm in his possession.
How could that possibly have anything to do with Nan?
I'm coming to that. He confessed that every week he wowould get a piece of microfilm hidden in the trunk of a car parked in the 10th Street parking lot.
That's where Nan parked her car.
Goodness, there must be a lot of other cars parked there.
Yes, but this time we got a license number, and the car turned out to belong to your granddaughter.
If a creature like that could blame something like this on Nan, isn't that a proof she had nothing to do with it?
Not exactly. Because when we went to question Nan, she wasn't there, and the car was gone also. But when she was picked up on the highway, another piece of microfilm was found in her car.
Lieutenant, I know the police are honest, but...
Mrs. Havens, I found the microfilm myself, and Mr. Maris here was with me.
You haven't heard me. You haven't been paying any attention to anything I've told you.
Mrs. Havens, Lieutenant Weston is a police officer. He can't ignore facts. If it'll be of any help, I believe Nan is innocent, too, and I'm going to try and prove it.
Bless you. There. You see? Everybody doesn't believe Nan's guilty.
Mrs. Havens, you live in Gainesville, don't you?
Yes.
Just a few blocks from the missile base.
Yes, but...
Well, Nan told us that she had been visiting you, and she was returning from that visit when she was picked up.
That's right. When Nan telephoned me that she was in trouble, I tried to get in touch with Charlie. I knew my place was here with her. I thought maybe he could help me get into town.
Who's Charlie?
Oh, he's a young man she's been going with in Gainesville.
Now, that's the first I've heard about a boyfriend. Did you find him?
No. I don't suppose that makes much difference. He hasn't got a car.
Well, where does this Charlie live? Where does he work?
She never told me. But I know she spends all her spare time with him.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Mrs. Havens, I'll do what I can.
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Havens. Thank you for dropping by. Well, Herb, I think we'd better have a little talk with Miss Nan Havens. Nan, why didn't you tell us about your boyfriend before?
Because I'm sure he had nothing to do with it.
Look, you're not going to get any place trying to protect an accomplice.
You don't understand, do you? You just don't understand.
Where did you meet him?
In Gainesville about 6 months ago.
What was he doing there?
He worked in a laundry, I think. He never talked very much about his work.
What's his last name?
Parrish, Charles Parrish.
Where does he live?
Carroll Street. I don't know the address.
Excuse me. I've got some checking to do.
Nan, did you ever see Charlie actually working in a laundry?
No, but the laundry's closed on Saturdays and Sundays, and those are the only 2 days I can get to Gainesville.
Have you ever wondered why he never came to town to see you?
Well, I always went there anyway, and besides, Charlie doesn't have a car.
So when you went driving, you always used your car?
Yes.
Weren't there times when you went to some specific place and both of you got out of the car for a while?
Well, yes.
Couldn't someone else have put some microfilm into the car while this was going on?
I don't know. I suppose so.
Did you ever meet any of his friends?
Only once, at a little roadside restaurant near Gainesville. A man and a woman who knew Charlie. They sat and had something to eat with us.
You remember their names?
I never remember anybody's name when I'm introduced like that.
This could be very important.
Well, the man's name could have been Carter or Carson, something like that. I don't think I ever did hear his first name. All through dinner, Charlie referred to him as Duke.
What about the woman?
I remember her first name. It was Laura.
Do you know where we could find either of them?
I don't know about Duke, but it seems to me Laura said she worked in a drive-in.
In Gainesville?
I don't think so. I think it was here.
Which one?
I don't know.
Miss Havens, try and remember Duke's last name. And if anything comes to your mind, you can reach me at my office.
All right.
I'll be in touch with you later. Usually, in a case like this, you start off by running down clues. But when there are no clues to run down, you just start off. Sometimes with an idea in mind, sometimes just clutching at straws, no matter how flimsy. That's why I started canvassing 500 drive-ins looking for a girl named Laura. Is your name Laura?
That's right.
My name is Maris. I'm an attorney. I'm looking for a girl named Laura who has a boyfriend named Duke.
What happens when you find this particular Laura?
Well, I'll tell her when I find her. Or have I already found her?
Like to see a menu?
I'd rather have some information about Duke.
You'll have more luck with the menu.
Up to now, this interview has been very charming, but very unsatisfactory. Now, what are you hiding?
A secret. Want to know what it is?
Yes, I do.
If I don't get back to work, I'll lose my job. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Laura, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Mr. Maris. The interview's over.
What happened to the old Maris job?
I turned it on all right, but Laura turned it right off.
You sure she's the one we're looking for?
I don't know, but she's certainly being evasive.
Weston. Yeah. Yes, I see. All right, thank you very much. Well, Herb, we're progressing, but in the wrong direction.
What happened?
Nobody's ever heard of Charlie Parrish in or near Gainesville, not at the laundry, nor at the place where he is supposed to work, nor does his description fit anyone they've ever known. Well, it was a nice try.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Herb. You know, I hate to say this, but I don't think you have a chance in the world of preventing an indictment.
I know. The way things are now, conviction is a foregone conclusion. The disappearance of Charles Parrish left Mrs. Havens as the only person who could vouch for the truth of Nan's story. And all she really had to support her statements was faith. But hers was the kind of faith that moves mountains. And I felt sure it would help remove the obstacles from Nan's path. The most important thing now was to find Charles Parrish.
Hi, Mr. Maris.
Hi.
What are you after now? Man or menu?
Women, or a woman. She might be able to save an innocent person from prison.
Go on.
Do you ever remember meeting a girl by the name of Nan Havens?
It doesn't ring any bells.
She was with a young man named Charlie Parrish when she met you with your friend Duke at a roadside cafe near Gainesville. Still no bells?
I remember being near Gainesville once. What's the rest of it?
We strongly suspect Charlie Parrish of subversive activities. Now, whether or not you admit being the girl that I'm looking for, I can always turn your name into the police for investigation. They'll soon find out whether or not you knew Duke.
Okay. Duke's full name is Chester Francis. We went around together for quite a while. But I just couldn't figure him out.
What do you mean?
Well, he always had lots of money, but he never seemed to work. Here, with all his money, he never owned a car.
Well, that figures.
Why do you say that?
Whenever you went places with Duke, you'd use your own car.
Yes, that's right.
And every now and then, especially when you've been near Gainesville, Duke would suddenly have another appointment somewhere else. You'd have to drive home alone.
Mister, where do you get your crystal ball?
Have you seen Duke lately?
Not for a couple of months. He just quit calling me.
Do you know where to reach him?
Yeah, I have his phone number. If he's still there.
Call him up. Tell him in your own charming way that you'd like to see him again.
It's a little matter of female pride.
My office will pay you $100 a day for your services if...
100? Like I said, there's no such thing as female pride. You got a dime?
Laura's had a change of heart. At least that's the way it appears to me.
Appears to you? When a young lady car baffles the astute Mr. Maris, the millennium must be just around the corner.
Never mind the comment. Tomorrow is Laura's day off. She has a date with Duke Francis at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're going for a drive in her car.
Well, I hope they have nice weather, huh?
So do I. I think you and I should be around to see what happens. Looks like Duke, all right. Fits Laura's description perfectly. And 70 miles later, Duke and Laura stopped at a roadside restaurant a few miles north of Gainesville.
Now what?
Well, just wait and see what happens.
How much owe you?
85 cents.
Oh, you want to order first?
You order for me. I can't make up my mind.
Okay, pal. Hey, buddy. Get change of a 5. I want to make a phone call. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. When the lady comes back, tell her I forgot the keys to the car. I'll be right back.
There's Duke. Couldn't see exactly what he was doing. He either put something in the car or took it out. I'm not sure. Herb, where are you going?
That's what I'm going to find out.
Wait a minute, Herb.
Don't try and stop me. The evidence I need to free my client may be just across the road.
Yeah? Yeah, I know how it is. Well, if that's the way it's got to be, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. But you're sure breaking up a swell day for me. Okay. Goodbye. Too bad, honey.
What's the matter?
Oh, I just called my office. They're sending me out of town to wrap up a sale. I gotta be at the Gainesville airport in 55 minutes. I sure hope you don't mind going back by yourself.
I do. I mind very much. What good is that going to do me? Have we time to eat?
Oh, sure. Airport's only 5 minutes from here. Enjoy yourself.
I left my compact in the powder room. Give me a minute.
What do I owe you?
55 cents.
Duke and Laura are heading for the airport to drop him. She'll drive into town alone.
That clinches that Duke must have stashed microfilm in her car. Anything else?
She gave me this note. The counterman is Nan's boyfriend, Charlie Parrish.
That's our contact. Look, there's Duke and Laura now.
If we follow them, we may lose Parrish.
That's right. We'll have to put a tail on Duke. Let Laura drive back, park in her usual place, so the stakeout can spot who the pickup man is.
What about Parrish?
We'll stay with him.
That's Parrish now.
Who's that with him?
I don't know. He was sitting at the counter reading a paper.
Well, Ed, that leaves us no choice. We'll have to tail him.
Honey, you've been terrific doing this for me. I'll call you tomorrow, okay?
Sure, I know how it is. Thanks for the lunch. Bye.
Bye. Thanks again. What's the matter?
We've about decided that car behind us is a tail.
What car?
They've pulled off the road. If they try tailing us again, we'll lose them. Call off the pickup. Okay.
They picked up Duke. Where they go now will be very important.
There it comes. It's a tail, all right.
All right, turn around and step on it.
They're turning around. Looks like they know they're being followed.
We'll have to stop them now. If one of them gets to a phone, the whole deal falls through. The quickest way to stop them is a roadblock. Unit 58 to headquarters. with you. Back up against the car. Put your hands on the car. You Charlie Parrish?
Never heard of him.
You will. You work at the missile plant? Listen, you might as well tell me. I can find out the truth in 5 minutes.
Yes, I work there, but...
What about you? Did you stash another piece of microfilm in Miss Meade's car at the restaurant?
I never went near a car at the restaurant. You can't prove I did.
Well, I don't know. You like film so much, we have some motion pictures we'd like to show you.
Yes, and the admission is free. Take them back downtown. Come on, get them in the car.
Well, there's just no way, Lieutenant. No way in the world I can ever tell you how grateful I am to you and Mr. Maris.
Oh, excuse me. Well, come on in.
Oh, Grandma.
Oh, John, here's a little gift. Mrs. Havens made it for you especially.